welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shubhani Gharat. Storyboard 18's Visionaries was held recently in Gurgaon, where we witnessed a ballroom full of excitement and a strong sense of camaraderie as the crowd of industry stalwarts gathered to enjoy each other's company, watch their peers get felicitated, and learn more about the bright future of advertising and marketing. It was an evening that celebrated CMOs, marketing leaders, and brand custodians who have made a deep impact through their work that has catapulted the growth of their respective companies and brands. Apart from CMOs, there were many C-suite leaders, founders and CXOs present on ground. Nestle's Suresh Narayanan is one of them. He kick-started the very first chapter of Storyboard 18's Visionaries with a powerful keynote speech sharing leadership lessons that he swears by. Listen in.
If there is only one thing that you have to remember at the end of my time that I have today, is the Doha of Kabir. Vriksha kabuni falbake, nadi na sinche neer, parmarath ke karane, sadhun dhara sharir. Vriksh, the tree never eats its fruit, the river never drinks its water. It is for the sake of mankind that the sadhu has donned life form on earth. That is the role of leadership. I've got not 3 but almost 4 decades of experience in the trenches to have learnt a few principles. The first principle of leadership that I've learnt is that everyone must have an attitude in a positive spirit. It's all about having a mindset to say that I will overcome and that we shall overcome. If there's one statement from Mahatma Gandhi that you need to remember, is the fact that a leader is not known by the followers he has, it is by the leaders he makes. That's your role as marketeers, that's your role as CEOs. The second principle is authenticity. So be authentic. The fact of the matter is that you're at least true to your skin, and being true to your skin gives you a power that is enormous. The third principle is of agility. This is a world where you have to discard your thoughts every second day. So agility and therefore adaptability. Both of these are becoming extremely important in your profession. You see heroes becoming zeros, not so much because of lousy strategies, it's because of lousy leadership. Purpose, people, planet, partnerships, and you will finally get performance. हम क्या करते हैं? पहले performance and last people, and maybe partnerships grudgingly, if at all we think that partnerships are worthwhile. That is the core essence of who we are as marketeers, who we are as leaders, who we are as people who have to make things happen. So remember, competence, clarity, confidence, creativity, and finally, something that we have forgotten in this world today, compassion. And since all of you marketeers speak the language of the consumer, I would leave you with the Doha of Kabir. ऐसी बानी बोलिए, मन का आपा खोए, औरन को शीतल करे, आपू शीतल होए. Thank you all very much for your patient listening. Thank you.
And then we caught up with some visionary CMOs who were felicitated with a memento that evening on what does it really take to become a visionary marketer. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Visionary marketer or visionary leader is somebody who thinks long-term consumer trends, long-term profitable growth, long-term customer relationships, and maximizes the short-term. And a leader is somebody who's able to channelize the long-term vision through very clearly defined objectives and building blocks.
With all humility, I can say that it takes patience, a lot of hard work along the years. I think getting a better sense of what consumers really want in terms of products or services, and then trying to fulfill that need And if you keep that as a constant thought and a philosophy throughout your career, I think you probably will in some way try and end up getting close to a visionary marketer. So I think a better sense of what the consumers want and need is probably has helped me in my journey.
I think the only thing to remember is always be the voice of the consumer or the customer and work closely with, we heard about it today, work closely with your business partners, with your CEO on what that business agenda is. Being visionary is looking for unlocks that come from genuine consumer insights and close customer integrations and interactions. There's no rocket science. It's as old as the hills. I think it still works. The how is what changes, as the years go on.
Well, I believe that being your authentic self, being rooted in being a great storyteller, and more importantly, trying to balance what marketing is known for, business and growth, I think really helps being a visionary or being a rounded marketer in that sense.
I think all it takes for a visionary, is keeping yourself very rooted to the fundamentals, but keeping your eyes open to trends and a little bit of, foresight and predictions around what might happen in the future, and kind of navigating your brand towards those narratives.
I think the most important thing to be a visionary in marketing is to really see how you can create impact. Now, that impact could have various definitions. It could be just mere sales for the company. It could be about creating changes in the lives of the consumers. So it's about the industry that you're in and what is the impact that you can create. So marketing is all about impact. If there's no impact, there's no marketing success. And visionaries are those who identify what impact can be created, how it can be created, and how well it can be created. And I think that's what's most important.
So I think what it takes to really be a visionary marketer is to first put the consumer at the heart of everything. I think once we do that, and not about just selling a product, if it's about problem solving, what is it that the product or the service can do for the customer? So I think it's all about problem solving and keeping the customer at the heart of any communication or marketing that we do.
I would say these sort of events are very, very important for marketeers like us, where we try to get information and fetch information from fellow marketeers and understand the kind of vision they have for the future. These sort of events lay down the roadmap for us, where we take some sort of information back and start preparing our strategies accordingly.
Certainly for any marketer, I would say that being very, very close to your consumer, really understanding trends that are happening in the market today, what has happened in the past, and more importantly, what will happen in the future. So staying very close to it is probably the number one thing for a marketer. Once you know that, and with experience, you get good ideas.
Visionary marketer is probably someone who's a realist, who can find the intersection between what's happening in the nation or the macro environment, intersect it with what is important for the company, and eventually is serving the interest of the customers. So everything which has customer at the center, and then you can find new ways, be bold and experiment around it. I guess realist is also visionary, and that is pretty much the theme on my mind.
I think what it takes is like a love for mystery is how I would put it. I think, see, marketing is a lot of gray compared to, and if you're used to like a lot of black and white in your life, I mean, it's not the rightest place. Consumer mind especially is a bit intriguing, and thereby being able to decipher the real needs and wants of consumers and being able to kind of turn that into solutions which are product, services, even insights on which you can base your communication on is an art that it kind of requires for you to be successful in it. And thereby I would say that people who have this penchant for mystery, I think tend to do a lot better in marketing than otherwise.
We at PepsiCo India are constantly striving to become better every day. And in that endeavor, we have written a simple vision, which is all about generating positive growth and spreading smiles by inspiring or entertaining 1 billion Indians every day. In that regard, whatever we are doing, we are doing with deep human centricity and with a transformative mindset. Right from the very deep human-centric propositions of Dew or Pepsi, which is anchored on Dar Ke Aage Jeete or Rise Up Baby, which is all about making sure that we give inspiring messages in an entertaining way, to supporting athletes with a beautiful brand like Gatorade, which we just recently did with Sumit Nagpal when we kind of saw his story, to making sure that we provide transformative portfolio solutions with Sting, which is an energy drink which consumers love, And also our zero sugar offerings, which are really delicious with the promise of zero sugar. We are at one end trying to architect growth, and on the other end trying to be a catalyst of change. On that note, I'd just like to thank all of you on behalf of PepsiCo India to bestow this award on me, because this is not my award, this is team's award. Thank you very much.
A lot to learn from these visionary CMOs. This was the very first edition of Storyboard 18's Visionaries. More chapters coming soon. On that note, it is time for us to slip into a short break. On the other side, we are catching up with Vice President Marketing, Mondelez India, Nitin Saini, in the thick of the festive season on the key trends around the festival and their focus on premiumization. Welcome back, and now in the thick of the festival season, I'm catching up with Vice President for Marketing, Mondelez India, Nitin Saini. We are catching up with him on their new campaign shining spotlight on homepreneurs around the festival, key trends witnessed by the brand from Rakhi to Diwali, and how are Indians consuming chocolate, and how is the brand set for premiumization, their strategy in this direction, and much more. So around this Diwali, first up, you have launched Ghar Ki Dukaan, shining spotlight on homepreneurs this time. Tell us more about the thought behind, this campaign.
Yeah, Shivani, if you look at our Diwali work in the last 3 years, they've all been around the theme of helping small businesses. So if you look at 2020 and 2021, it was helping small retailers who are coming on the back of a tough COVID situation.
Correct.
And then last year, it was helping those who don't even have a shop, which is shop for shopless. So this year, we are shining spotlight on homepreneurs. These are small home businesses who do a lot of fantastic work. They are mostly owned by women who do it for their pride, to give outlet to their passion, and also to contribute to the household income. But they are very limited in their reach. So with our campaign, which is this ad is my store, we are enabling these homepreneurs to increase their reach and go beyond their own neighborhood to the whole city.
Yeah.
So that's really the idea of our campaign this year.
And it was launched around Navratri time. And from Navratri to, let's say, Diwali is like crucial time for a company like Mondelez. And over the past couple of years, we have seen a lot of action from Mondelez brands. Tell us what else is cooking around, this festival.
We have 2 more campaigns right now live on air, which is around the theme of the World Cup. So we have a campaign on dairy milk, which is called Sit Together. And that is all about inspiring people to celebrate the spirit of cricket together by watching it together, irrespective of the background or the jobs they do. That campaign is also live on air. We also have a campaign from Oreo, which is called Oreo Bola Mat Bol, which is a playful twist to an old belief that, we shouldn't talk about India winning the World Cup just yet till India wins the World Cup. So we have Oreo doing this, and we have Dairy Milk on Sit Together, and we have the Celebrations campaign about helping the homepreneurs, which is live on air right now.
Sure. And, from Rakhi, where, you launched your first leg of the festive campaigns, to, let's say, Diwali, I mean, almost stepping into, the Diwali fever right now. Can you tell us what are some of the key consumer trends that you are noticing?
I would say that certainly we are seeing a lot of positive sentiment as far as consumers are concerned, as we can see on our own performance during Rakhi and Diwali. So, Diwali is still early days. Some of the early indicators are positive, but we're hoping for a good Diwali. So there's certainly a strong consumer sentiment getting into the festive season. The other trend I would say is certainly around premiumization. We are seeing an increasing trend of premiumization. There is this consumer cohort which is looking for more premium, more sophisticated experiences. And actually we at Mondelez are well set up to tap into that premiumization trend. But I would say that's definitely a trend that we are seeing in the market.
Yeah, and you mentioned set up for the premiumization trend. What are some of the things that you've already done, and what are some of the things that we expect from Mondelez in that direction?
If you look at our portfolio, if you look at our chocolate portfolio, we have a very strong portfolio when it comes to premium chocolate. We have got Silk, we have got Boneville, which is all about building relevance for dark chocolate in India. And actually Mondelez India has led the premiumization agenda for chocolates in this country. So very well set up on the chocolate side. If I look at biscuits, premiumizing the categories are, is the growth opportunity that we look at. And we again have a very strong portfolio there with Oreo, which is doing extremely well. And then we have a strong second pillar now as well in Choco Bakes. So I would say if I look at our portfolio, we are well set up to tap into the premiumization trend.
As a market leader, Nitin, if you can share with us, how is India eating chocolate today over the past 1 year? If you can throw in some light, and how much of chocolate has been consumed over the past 1 year?
I would say that certainly the category is doing well, and we as as market leaders, definitely one of our key objective is to drive category growth. And there are several things that we look at when it comes to driving category growth. There's definitely an opportunity to drive penetration, because there's still a lot of households who do not consume chocolate, more so in rural than urban, and that is where our low unit price portfolio really comes into play. So we have again a very strong portfolio there in 5 rupee and 10 rupee that plays a role over there. Once somebody is in the, one starts consuming chocolate, we have a very strong portfolio to drive more occasions of consumption. Whether that be home stocking or stocking of chocolate or at home or gifting, which is where our celebration brand comes into play. The third lever I would say is what I just spoke about, which is premiumization. And that is again a trend that one is seeing when it comes to chocolate category, that there is this desire to have more premium sophisticated experiences. So for us, all three levers are important to drive penetration.
Penetration in rural and markets that are not consuming so much chocolate.
Absolutely. More occasions of consumption such as gifting, stocking chocolate at home, and then finally premiumization, which is to have more premium sophisticated experiences. And all of it goes into driving the category growth, which I think is the big opportunity for us, because when one compares India with some of the other markets in the world, we still have a huge headroom to grow when it comes to per capita consumption.
And when it comes to consumer cohort, which consumer cohort are you looking at, which you think is both exciting and challenging for the company?
I think I would say the one that I just spoke about, which is people who are looking for more premium, sophisticated experience, the aspirant consumer cohort, if you like, because there's certainly a huge opportunity to grow with that consumer cohort, but at the same time they do look for more indulgent, more premium, more sophisticated experience. So you got to make sure that what you're putting out in front of them is absolutely of gold standard quality. So I would say it's that's the consumer cohort, and more exciting than challenging.
Yeah, and what about the Gen Zs? Because every brand and FMCG player is speaking about tapping into the Gen Zs, and that's a very discerning consumer to reach. So how are you engaging with the Gen Z consumers?
I think Gen Z is absolutely a very important cohort when it comes to our consumer base, and we talk to them in different ways. So of course, when we communicate, our messaging is a lot of times is tuned to what their preferences are, what their passion points are. We also have a strong personalization program when it comes to reaching out to consumers. So then we have a dedicated set of communication that goes with these people, that goes to Gen Z. A lot of what we do around activation, Shubhani, a lot of story doing, a lot of not just communicating our proposition, but also enabling people, is also something that connects with Gen Z very well, because they really like it when the brands are not just talking about their proposition, but are also living it. So I think these are the different ways in which we are able to connect well with Gen Z, and we actually have a very strong emotional connection with them.
Yeah. Now, overall, when it comes to media strategy, Nitin, we spoke about reaching out to the rural consumer to drive penetration in some of those markets. We spoke about premiumization, Gen Zs. But when it comes to media strategy and media bifurcation, what are the mediums that you are using? How are you using digital? How are you using TV? If you can throw in some light or strategy, or your thought process behind using different mediums.
Absolutely. In the end, it also depends upon what that campaign objective is. But if I look at, for most of our campaigns, TV and digital are certainly a part of the media mix, and both are important parts of the media mix. And then depending upon a specific objective, we also include other mediums such as print and out of home. So they also become a part of the mix. But TV and digital, they are definitely the two main medium by which we communicate.
And what are your expectations going forward? We are towards the end of 2023. Going forward in 2024, what are your expectations from the year, and what are some of the targets and goals that you've set for yourself and Mondelez in India?
We are coming to the end of the year and also to the end of my first year
Yes.
At Mondelez India. But when I look back, I feel very satisfied. I think the team at Mondelez India marketing has done a fantastic job. A lot of good campaigns to talk about. We spoke about a few. The one that I really like is the birthday campaign that we did in July, which was about building relevance of celebrations in the birthday occasion, and that we, people could make their own personalized birthday songs and gift it. So that's done fantastically well for us. More than 800,000 songs created. The business performance has been very good. So as we as we come to the end of 2023, I feel very satisfied and proud of what the team has done. And then 24 obviously is a new challenge, and we've got to make sure that we continue to raise the bar, do even better work, continue to grow the business, but also do work that is that cuts through with the consumers in India.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today, and all the best for that.
Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.